Alright, what's up nerds? Welcome back to the channel. This is installment 2 of improving the bench press. This one's going to be focused just solely on range of motion. So let's dive into today's video. To preface this, if you haven't watched Monday's video, it'll be the first link in the description. Watch it before you watch this. So now that you've watched Monday's video, you know that there are two things that I talked about there. Moment arms and ROM, or range of motion. And we already kind of explained moment arms and how to create a better press by utilizing moment arms to increase the power output of your press so that you're not spending so much time in your sticking point. Basically, we're shortening the time it takes us to actually physically make the press. But today, we're gonna go over range of motion. Now there are two things that greatly affect range of motion. One of those is grip width, and the other is arching in the bench press. And today we're gonna talk about the first one, grip width. Arching in the bench press, that's coming on Friday, don't worry. I know a lot of people are like, how do I get a better arch? Should I arch? Should I not arch? Pros and cons of arching, this, that, and the other. Don't worry, it's coming Friday. Wait for it. All right, first things first, what are we trying to do with our bench press, right? The ultimate goal is to create more power, right? Power lifting, so power and then lifting. Okay, so we want to create more power. And how do we do that? Well, power is just force, which is the weight on the bar, which we constantly want to increase, or hopefully it's increasing, times distance, the distance the bar actually travels from start point to end point and back to start point. And then that is divided by time. And today we're going to talk about distance. If we shorten the distance, that means we're going to improve power output. And if we shorten the distance and the time, we're going to greatly improve power output. So you can see how these videos are going to build on each other. All right, now to get to what you've been waiting for, how wide should you actually bench? I mean, you see it all the time. There's close grip bench, there's super wide bench that almost looks like a chest fly, and there's like a moderate bench. Which one should you take? Well, honestly guys, there's no like one answer. There is a right and a wrong, but that right and wrong is for you, and it's selective. So what I would suggest is play around with a couple of grips. A grip that allows you to have better movement, have a better moment arm, meaning you can shorten the time it takes you to press, you still have the power there, and also shorten the range of motion because that's going to lead to mo gains. It's going to make you a mo better bencher. So the legal width grip in the USAPL is index finger on the outer rings, and it has to fully cover the outer rings. So you can't grip any wider than that legally in competition. If you're a USAPL lifter, if you didn't know that, now you know, okay? But should you just automatically go to the widest grip possible? Honestly, I'm gonna say no. And the reasoning for that is because I think it should be honestly like a structured, like you spend a month a little bit closer, you spend a month a little bit wider than that close grip, you spend a month a little bit wider than that, and you like gradually work your way out. And what this will do is, one, it'll allow your body to gain some adaptations from that different positioning, but two, it'll strengthen things as you get wider, because going from like one extreme to the other can be really detrimental to your press. What I mean by this is like your joints might not be ready for that, and you could snap some shit up. That's not good. Start where you're at right now. If you're not all the way out by the rings yet, gradually work your way out there. You know, move inch by inch. If that means like if you lift from home, you can put a chalk mark or a tape. You can actually put like athletic tape on the bar to remind you where your grip was for the month. And you can continue to grip there and then move it out inch by inch until you get out as wide as possible. Now, will everyone be able to get out that wide? No, and this depends on one thing, and that is the length of your humerus. I'm not talking about my dry, witty sense of humor, although it is delectable. I'm talking about the length of my upper arm, from my elbow to my shoulder joint. if your humerus is super short like mine, gripping out that wide might put you in a disadvantageous position. But then again, it might not. These are things you need to play with. I think for most people, like I said, getting to that widest grip is going to be your best bet, just because you're going to shorten the range of motion. Again, there are a couple of things that we can change in powerlifting. We can change our range of motion, we can apply better technique, and these things with the shorter range of motion and the better technique should lead to better power output, because we're moving the bar shorter distance and we have better technique, so the bar should be moving a little bit faster. We should be applying a little bit more power to the bar, meaning we're not going to spend as much time in our sticking points or grinding through reps. One tip that I will give you on the bench press, no matter how wide your grip is when you press, you should be doing two things. So you should be actually pulling the bar to you, right? So I'm pulling the bar down to my chest, or down to my stopping point, wherever that might be for you. So that is cue number one. Pull the bar down to you. And that's going to greatly help your bench press, because it's going to keep everything super tight. Number two is going to be, at the same time you're doing that, you're pulling your elbows in, right? So if we're here, we're benching, we're pulling our elbows in toward us. And what this does is, if our elbows flare out, right, this increases the moment arm between my shoulder and my hand, going back to Monday's video. So if I can pull my elbows in, I stay tighter. So it's going to allow me to do a couple of things. It's going to allow me to keep a tighter position at the bottom of the bench press, which I think is where a lot of people lose things, is when they get to their chest. They like feel really good coming down, and they get to their chest, and then some things happen, and they lose tightness, and they go to press, and they ain't got nothing. So this will allow you to keep things tighter, but at the same time, it'll allow you to shorten that moment arm, meaning you're going to be able to apply more force to the bar if you do things properly. All right, that's it. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, click that thumbs up button. Feel free to share it with somebody that has a poverty bench. Let's make bench great again, 2017. All right, nerds, I'm out.
It's lonely at the top, I'm tired of having company. So while you busy trying to fit in, I'ma stand out and view my life through this lens to see how it